Yeah. Let's just answer this question quickly. I am going to start with the balances that we found in the stock accounts. So we've got raw materials. For last year, it was 367,000. For this year, the end of the year, it was 458,000. Indirect material, please note that that will go to factory overheads. Work in progress will also go to the production cost statement. Finished goods will go to the calculation of cost of sales. Now, with direct and indirect materials, they told us that 24,100 worth of indirect. If they say indirect material, that cannot go to direct material cost. It goes to factory overheads. Now, fortunately, they said all indirect materials are used in the production process. And when they have to tell you that this is used in the production process, just know that it is indirect. Because if it's direct material, there's no other choice. It is used. They won't tell you that it is used. So you will just know that this is direct material. It is used. For instance, they told you in point 2 that raw materials purchased during the year amounted to 856,000. I am going to start with my direct raw material cost. I will start with the opening balance. Please note that in this note, we record all direct materials used in the production of a product. These are direct materials used to produce a product. We'll start with balance at the beginning of the year. These are raw materials not used in the previous year. We're going to use them in the current year, which is 367,000. Then when it comes to purchases, I am going to take this 856,250 minus 15,750 because these are returns, and then minus they told you that the storeroom was left unlocked and 5,000 worth of steel, which is raw material, was stolen. So I'm going to minus that 5,000 because we can't use it in the production process. It was stolen. And they also told you that the loss is regarded as a factory overhead expense. So this 5,000, we're going to put it under factory overhead as loss due to theft. So what must we do for now? We just are going to take total purchases minus returns and minus the loss, okay? And this is what we will get. Then you were going to add carriage on purchases, which are transport costs incurred to bring raw materials to the factory. Unfortunately, we don't have any. And then you're going to add any import duties, which is tax on goods purchased from overseas. Unfortunately, we don't have any. It will be 0. Then you will deduct balance at the end of the year, which was that 458,000. Now, raw materials used that will be taken to the production process will be 367,000 plus 835,500 minus 458,000. You will get 744,500. Okay, I'm done with raw materials. The next one will be direct labor, which is the labor cost incurred to convert the raw materials to finished products. How do we account for such? Okay, I'm going to go to my information. Now, immediately when they talk about factory foreman, I'm going to ignore it because factory foreman, that is a person that is not directly involved in making a product. Therefore, factory foreman will be included as indirect labor. Indirect labor goes to factory overheads. Then said to you in point 2, the factory employs 12 workers and they get paid 30 Rand per hour. Each worker worked 1,040 hours in the year. Had they said per month, it was going to be 12 times 30 times 1,040 times 12. But here they said in a year. So for us to get our direct labor cost, we are simply going to take the 12 times it by 1,040 times it by 30. And that will give us 374,400. We were going to add overtime payment as well as bonuses, but we didn't have any. But we did have contributions. And how much do we have as contributions? Let me just read further. The total contributions, you see, these are the total contributions made by the employer to the pension and UIF amounted to 55,550. I'm going to add those contributions here as employer's contribution, which is 55,550. Add everything up, it will give you your direct labor cost, which is 429,950. Now that 429,950 together with this 744,500, I'm going to take them straight to my production cost statement. Now, under production cost statement, I will have direct material cost, which will be 744,500 at direct labor cost, and that is 429,950. When you add these two, that will give you your prime cost, which is 1,174,450. Then we're going to add factory overheads, but we don't have factory overheads yet. So what are we going to do? Let's come here. Now, to calculate factory overheads, we will start with indirect material. Okay, I'm going to start with indirect material. Now, when you calculate indirect material, I'll go back to, actually, that is too far. I can't go back to it. I'm just going to go here. And I know that I'm going to take the 7,250, add it with these purchases. Okay, let me just use a different color. So it is the 7,250, which is balanced at the beginning of the year, plus purchases. We don't have any returns of indirect material. And then we're going to minus that 8,640, which is the closing stock of your indirect material. Now, when you put it here, you will simply have opening plus purchases. So indirect materials used will be opening because all of it is used for manufacturing. So we don't need to assign. But you will have 7,250 plus 24,100 minus 8,650. You will get that 22,700. The next one will be indirect labor. Okay, these are labor costs incurred in making the product. Let me just go and check what we have there. So it's all about this factory foreman. So this factory foreman got a net salary of this much, but this is after 8% was deducted and the 30,000 was also deducted. So we need gross, people. Okay, basic salary, the gross salary, basic salary. So it's hard to work with percentage. So I'm going to add the numbers first. I'm going to take that 146,640, add it with the 30,000. Okay, and then it'll give me my salary, my net salary after well, actually, it'll be before UIF and pension. It'll give you my net salary before UIF and pension. Why am I saying before UIF and pension? Actually, it's after UIF and pension. Okay, it's after UIF and pension. So basically, when I add the 30,000, it means that it will be your it will be before medical aid, but it will be after UIF contribution. And that is the value that they actually used to calculate the UIF. All right. So what am I going to start with? I'm going to go and use this formula here. So I'm going to take that 146,640, add it with 30,000, and then times it by 100 over 92. This is because when you add that 176,640, it was after UIF and pension. So it is at 92%. That's why I'm dividing by what I have, but I'm multiplying by what I want because I want 100% of it. Okay. And obviously, when I do this, it'll give me 192. And then after that 192, I am going to add, because that will be our gross salary. To the gross salary, we still need to add pension and UIF contributions. Okay, so I'm still going to take that gross salary of 192,000, multiply it by 8%. And that is when we have added our contributions. And that will give us 207,360. Okay, let's move on. Then for factory overheads, they spoke about rates and taxes. I'm going to read. If we need to adjust it, please also highlight the date because this is the end of the financial year. So we need anything between our expenses must be incurred between the 1st of November 2021 and the 31st of October 2022. Anything that falls outside, we need to subtract it. Anything that is supposed to be inside the financial year and it's not there, we need to add it. Got it. Rates and taxes, I don't see any adjustment about rates and taxes. Remember, you adjust and then you assign. Aber, adjust before you assign. So I am only given my factory space. I'm going to add all of these up to get my total factory space, which will give me 1,600. But I only want the one that belongs to the factory, which is this 1,200. Okay, so that 1,200 belongs to the factory. So it'll be my rates for the year, which is not adjusted obviously here because there was no adjustment. You times it by 1.2 divided by 1.6. So the ones that are allocated to the factory will be 14,625. Okay. For water and electricity, what do we have? Water and electricity amounts to 31,900. And they said for water, 85% of water and electricity will be used in the factory. Okay, you won't believe this because I made my kids write this. Only got an A plus, someone that got 90 something, there's someone that got 100%. Only 1% basically in the whole class. Only 1%. 1% got this right. It's ABBA, people. ABBA. ABBA. I just before assigning, I just before allocating, people started taking this water and electricity and they multiplied by 85%, but they didn't adjust it. So we needed, they said water and electricity account for October. October is within the financial year. We are within. Okay, it's within the financial year. And we are missing 2,900 that was not paid. So we need to first add it there and then get the total. And then the total will be the one that we multiply by 85. Adjust before you assign people. ABBA. One person. Imagine. 1 out of 15. 1. Now, what are we going to do here? I'm just going to take 46,800, add it with 2,900, close the brackets, and then multiply by 85. Adjust before you assign. Got it. Let's read further. And then we've got insurance. Let's see what they say about insurance. This was quite easy though. Your adjustments are quite easy, okay? And we did adjustments under your statement of financial position or statement of profit or loss, okay? We did it. So you shouldn't be struggling. You adjust first. You calculate what belongs into the current financial year first, and then you allocate. Like here, they said insurance for November has been paid in advance. We don't want that. So this, we need to take it out of our insurance. And then whatever we get, that's the one that we are going to allocate to the factory. Adjust before you assign people. So what am I going to do first? I'm going to take my insurance, subtract that 3,600, and then times it by 50%, or you divide it by 2. It'll give you 21,600. Depreciation of anything that belongs to the factory will be added here, and then we're going to add the loss due to theft, which gave us 5,000. And that'll give us our factory overheads, and our factory overhead cost will be 416,560. That 416,560 will come here to the production cost statement as factory overheads. So those ones that I've ticked, I'm going to add them together. So I'm going to add prime cost with factory overheads to get the TMC. I normally say TMC, total manufacturing cost or total cost of production, and that will give us 1,591,000. And then you add work in progress at the beginning of the year, and then you total it, then it will give you this value here. And then we subtract work in progress at the end of the year, and then we will get finished goods that go to cost of sales. But we don't have both. We don't have both. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to the information that I'm given and see what I have. Okay, first of all, I realize that I have opening stock of finished goods, I have closing stock of finished goods, and when I read the last part under sales, I've got cost of sales. There it is. So I'm going to go and use my cost of sales account to see if I can get this here, to see if I can get this here. Once I get this, it will be easy for me to get that one over there. Okay, now all I'm going to do is to prepare my cost of sales. I just gave them a box to do this, and they were supposed to say, we've got opening stock of finished goods. You add that amount. You remember the one that is missing from our production cost statement? This one comes from the production cost statement. We don't have it, but we have the value of your closing stock of finished goods. We also have cost of sales. And you were lucky they gave you cost of sales. Sometimes they give you sales and the markup, and then you have to use that to calculate cost of sales. So you won't have two things here. So you won't have that and you won't have this. But they'll give you sales. You're going to use that to calculate this over here. Okay. But here we didn't need to do that. It was given to us. All you have to do is to manipulate the formula. You use the reverse operation. So you're going to say this plus this minus that. It'll give us this over here. And that is the one that we're going to put this side. Now it's like we're working backwards. And then you find the difference between this two. Okay, you find the difference between this two. It'll give you this here, which is work in progress at the end of the year. You put it in brackets because we normally subtract it. Are we good? Is everyone good? Guys, accounting is very easy. It is very, very easy. It's such a wonderful subject. You just have to give all your heart to it, and you'll never be disappointed. Trust me, you'll never be disappointed. It's such an awesome subject. Accounting is such an awesome subject. And guys, I know you get a lot of people telling you that you don't need to do accounting in high school. Even when you go and become a to study chartered accountancy, you don't need accounting. I don't know about you don't need part. And there's this myth that if you did accounting in high school, when you get to varsity, you get to struggle with it. I don't know where that comes from. Because I did accounting in high school, and in my first year, I was focusing on other things because accounting that we did in first year was pretty much the same as what we did in high school. And I know that you will be told that you need to forget what you learned in high school. If you're watching this video and you're going to Veritas College, there's nothing you need to forget about, okay? It doesn't change. Your asset is still a resource that we use to generate money, but obviously they're gonna say economic resources when you get to varsity. It's still the same. Somehow lecturers, they teach us and then we go back and teach at the high schools, and somehow they say what we teach our kids is wrong, but we're teaching our kids what we got taught, we learned from them. Our education system, guys, in South Africa is quite good. We just need to make sure as teachers we dedicate ourselves to creating the best future leaders we possibly can have. But yeah, our education system is solid. Our CAs are in demand throughout the world. Yeah, I've spoken so much about chartered accountancy. That's why I said cycle. And everyone that I always talk about Nestle and everyone, they must start sponsoring the channel now. Okay. Guys, this is the contact details if you need any extra lessons. And I have indicated I've been tutoring for a while. I was part of Penguin tutoring. That's where my passion for teaching started when I was still studying BCom at the Verts. I just fell in love with teaching. It started all because my first chance I was given by Penguin Tutoring. Shout out to them. Wow. And so I've been tutoring for a while. I've got a couple of distinctions. I've tutored kids from when I studied at King Edward, went to Parktown Boys, Four Ways High. A couple of students I tutored from Four Ways High and Bryanston High. I'm trying to think. Unisa, St. Dominic. Actually, St. Dominic's Boxback. I do have 84% from there. Trying to think. St. Andrews, that is in Bedford View. Well, I've cheated Northcliffe High, cheated kids from Northcliffe High. Yes, it's a lot. So I've been in this game for a while. So if you need any extra lessons, we can do Google Meet. You will get the notes and full explanations. Otherwise, you can contact any of my colleagues there. They're very, very good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting them here. They're good. They're good. I do offer maths lessons, but I actually prioritize accounting more. So if you need extra lessons in maths, rather contact the three ladies there. Okay. Otherwise, you have Ms. Kujinga in Cape Town. Just holla. All right. Thank you for watching Pretoria Game. Shout out to Pretoria, guys. Yeah, massive support I get from Pretoria. I'll never stop shouting out Pretoria. Okay. Plug up in your head.